Welcome back to another episode of the OKC Foodcast. You are joined, as always, by your hosts Nabil
and Ashley,
and our first recurring guest on the podcast.
Yeah, well, actually, not true.
Not true?
Because we had Gabe twice. But welcome, Logan. Logan was on episode 6.
The best episode.
It was a really good episode. Yeah, so it's a Logan with Edible Excellence.
That is true.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. Because I was thinking we had Gabe twice. Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Even I knew that.
See?
Well, you are a fan, which is why you're back.
Right. Yeah.
There's something to that.
Yeah. So let's dive into our Eat of the Week. And then on today's episode, we're going to talk about a really cool event that we all attended. So
Yeah.
Who wants to go first with the Eat of the Week? Anybody?
My Eat of the Week is from that event.
Okay. All right. Go.
So
the event was cookies and cocktails. And Logan's going to tell us more about the event and his involvement. But go ahead and tell us your Eat of the Week from cookies and
the
cocktails.
event was super cool mission. I'm excited for everyone to hear that and get more involved next year.
Absolutely.
Yes. So my Eat of the Week from the event was from Scotty's Deli.
Yes. We love Scotty's Deli.
Yeah,
We're
Eric
a big fan.
made this fantastic duck pastrami.
Yeah.
And I ate it and I was like, I want some more.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was so good.
Yeah, that ground pickled mustard really, really made it.
Yes.
And the jalapeno slaw, which we're already a fan of on their sandwiches.
Yeah.
That
was so good.
That was definitely one of my favorites as well.
I think I went back for seconds on that one.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
Cool. Is your Eat of the Week from cookies and cocktails as well?
It is from cookies and
cocktails. All right,
so,
go for it.
Yeah, it's hard to compete with that. So my Eat of the Week was from Hacienda Tacos. They made I can't remember what the meat was. I don't know if it was pork or chicken, but it was a tostada. And in the sauce, they subbed out flour for the Girl Scout cookie. They used the Toffee-tastic Girl Scout cookie.
That's so brilliant.
And so that you had a little bit of sweet and spicy, and it was just, it
was amazing.
It's the kind of thing that you can't prepare for. I mean, completely unexpected.
Yeah.
And I definitely went back for that one again, and that one was impressive.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sad I missed that one because I had to leave a little early. Boo-hoo.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that one a whole lot as well as Scotty's Deli. Yeah. So we will definitely get more into cookies and cocktails. My Eat of the Week, I did not pick something from cookies and cocktails, though I totally could have.
Breaking ranks.
I know. But this past weekend, I actually just tried out Mears Store and Restaurant out in Lawton for the first time. And I gotta say, they did not disappoint.
You were telling me you were excited about this.
Yeah, I mean, that burger is freaking massive.
Yes, that looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is a place with a lot of history.
It is,
and it's pretty obvious when you get there because the building is like 5 buildings that have been like smushed together.
Added onto each other,
yeah. It's very unique.
And apparently, like every day that they're open, there's a line. Like you've got to get there early. So we got there around like 11:30. We were able to be seated right away, but though there were only maybe like 5 or 6 tables left. So even getting there at 11:30, and I think they opened at 10:30. Yeah. So it was already filling up. We, of course, had to try the Sesmic Mears burger, which is a massive 16-ounce burger loaded with cheese, bacon, onions, lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, jalapenos, and mustard. And it's so big that they cut it into 4s so that you can share it. So the burger was awesome. And then we also had their fried green tomatoes and beer battered onion rings, which have you tried those?
Yep. Yeah.
So good.
Yep.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They're so good. And of course, we couldn't leave without trying their famous peach cobbler. and it's like this hot peach cobbler, and then they load it with like a tower of their homemade vanilla ice cream. It was amazing.
Gosh, that sounds really good.
Yeah, the only downside was past weekend was brutally hot. And after that heavy of a lunch and then walking around Medicine Park, oh my gosh, like I truly thought I was going to die from a heat stroke. But Mears did it right. It was all wonderful. So they lived up to the hype, I would say, for sure.
Nice. Yeah, it looked really good. I didn't get to try it, but it was really good.
Yeah, I liked it. All right, so let's get into cookies and cocktails.
Let's do it. Just the event name sounds like so much fun.
Right?
Like, who wouldn't go to cookies and cocktails?
Right, exactly.
I mean, that's what I was asking people for weeks.
Right?
Like, why would you want to be anywhere else? It's like on a Thursday night. What else could you possibly be doing that's more fun than something called cookies and cocktails?
Right.
The answer is nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it was definitely the event to attend. So tell us, Logan, a little bit about Cookies and Cocktails and how you got involved in the event.
So Cookies and Cocktails is a fundraiser for the Girl Scouts of Western Oklahoma, and this was the 8th year. As I understand it, it started out as a loyal class project way back when.
That's what I heard
2011 or whatever. And it raises money specifically for the Girl Scout Gold Award. Which is kind of the equivalent of the Boy Scout Eagle Scout Award. So it's like, the highest rank you can get.
Okay.
And it costs. It's a costly process. I mean, it's a big deal going through all the work. You have to do these big projects and all that. So once you've achieved that sort of rank, there's a lot of scholarships for Eagle Scouts.
Right.
I don't think there's as many for Gold Award recipients. So it just helps them defray some of the costs of attending whatever university they choose. So that's kind of the background there. As to how I got involved in it, I'm a member of a Facebook group where it's a bunch of foodies and everything, and somebody reached out and said, hey, we could use some help recruiting restaurants for this event. And I thought,
you're the perfect person for that.
I looked at that and I
You're
thought,
like, do I know any restaurants?
I was like, I think I can do this. I think it'll be easy. I think it'll be fun. I was right about being able to do it. I was less right about it being easy or fun. It turned out to be a lot more work than I thought it was going to be.
As is so many things that we decide to take on, right?
Right, but it was a worthwhile project because last year I think they only had like 12 or 14 restaurants, and this year they had 26.
That's amazing.
And yeah, so I'm proud of how it turned out.
That's a pretty good improvement.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And the quality of the restaurants that participated and the span, they came from all across the metro.
Yeah.
I mean, just a really good mix.
No, it was a great mix. So for those that have never heard about or attended Cookies and Cocktails, tell us, what do the restaurants do that are involved?
So each of the restaurants has to create a custom bite or cocktail using one of the different flavors of Girl Scout cookies. And they do that in a lot of different ways. Some of them, they'll just, they'll crumble them up and then mix them into like a batter or a dough, and, they'll bake something. Some of them will just use it as like a garnish for a drink. So they have creative license there. Mm-hmm. And they take that and they run with it. I mean, it was... no two restaurants did something that was exactly the same. I mean, it was really, really impressive to see everything that they brought to the table.
Do they get to pick their own flavor, or are they randomly assigned?
Yes, they do get to pick their own flavors. So early on in the process, they basically get a sampler pack, and so they can experiment with things in their kitchen, well in advance of the event.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And so then they can, decide what they want to pick.
Yeah.
Because each restaurant obviously they have their own strengths, their own, affinities, if you will, and so certain cookies just lend themselves to certain recipes.
Right.
Yeah.
I was really anxious to try out, 'cause in like the invitation it said sweet and savory options that these restaurants were bringing, and I just kept thinking, how in the world are they going to make a Girl Scout cookie flavor savory? But several did. I was very, very impressed.
Yeah. It was definitely skewed more towards the sweets.
Oh, it was.
Because the cookies
absolutely.
obviously
of course,
lend
of
themselves to
course.
sweets.
There were a lot of beverages, whether it be a cocktail or like a coffee beverage.
That's true, and that was apparently that was a big improvement over last year because last year they didn't have hardly any drinks or cocktails, and this year it was like half cocktails. So I mean, people.
There were some boozy ones.
There were, especially I remember Bar Arbolados. Theirs was especially boozy.
Yes.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
But the Winston brought a great one that was kind of like a mojito, and Black Walnut brought one that was sort of like a whiskey sour, and they were all very tasty.
Yeah, one that was kind of surprising to me. I think it was Mickey Mantle. They did a PB&J, and so it was like. What was it? Like jam around the rim that was dipped in like a peanut butter cookie.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Was it jam around the rim?
Or was it peanut butter? I know maybe the jelly part was the cocktail. And maybe it was peanut butter around the rim.
Yeah, it was some sort of a peanut butter whiskey that they used as a base.
Okay, so then it had to have been jam around the rim. I don't know, but it was definitely interesting.
Yeah, people got creative, which is cool. Which is cool to see.
Oh, who was it that actually brewed a beer?
That was Mad Hopper Brewing. So they're one of the newer brewers in town. I think they're over at the Brewers Union.
Okay. We tried both of those. I mean, I'm not an expert when it comes to, craft beer, but I thought it was pretty good. I really didn't get much cookie flavor, but did you?
With a lot of things, the cookie flavor was I would say a little lacking.
Disguised.
Yes. But I think that's that creative liberty that people took, right? But like just a little cookie here and it adds to it.
Yeah.
Right? He was saying that he added the cookies into the brewing process.
Yeah.
So that's a cool way to try and incorporate
really
those, right?
Cool.
Yeah. And with beer, I'm sure he had a lot less time to experiment because obviously that process just in itself takes a while
That's true. I didn't think about
to
that.
batch it out and
Yeah. So what are some other notable mentions of things that we tried that you would say some of your favorites?
I would say definitely the chicken and waffles from the tasting room, Will Rogers Theater, that group.
I mean, oh my gosh. That was probably one of my favorites. If I were going to make a eat of the week using cookies and cocktails, it would be the chicken and waffles from the tasting room.
That was another one I missed out on.
Yeah, that's just tragic.
It is tragic.
Well, the problem was I was trying to go in a little circle, and by the
time you went the wrong direction.
Yes, apparently.
you hit up the half that was like really sweet and really drink heavy, and if you'd gone the other way, you would have gotten more of the savory options.
Yeah.
I should. I thought about that. I'm like, most people are going this way. I should go the other way.
Right.
But then I just followed the crowd.
It just kind of felt like that was the natural.
That was the flow they wanted you to follow. It feels
because
like
of the bar first, which let me just say that was kind of tricky, having a drink from the bar and then stopping by each booth, having either a drink or food and trying to eat or drink while holding your cocktail.
That's true.
It was a little tricky.
It's like you got a plate, 2 cups. You're like, another plate.
I need
Okay,
to bring some more friends to help me hold things. But so no, the chicken and waffles, amazing. Big Buns Bakery.
Yes.
They typically do these giant buns, but in this scenario, they did some smaller buns with like a scoop.
They were like cupcake sized.
Cupcake size, yeah. With like a scoop of peanut butter in the center and drizzled with chocolate on top.
Those are really good.
Those were so good.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll add that to their repertoire.
I don't know.
Like the small buns.
I don't know. That would be good. Did either of you get to try Gogi Go?
Did not.
I feel like I did. What was it?
Was it on that side that I missed?
Yeah, unfortunately. No, it was like a braised jackfruit, and it had like some like peanut butter. I mean, it was a really complex dish. I mean, it was just very, very good, and I wish I could remember all of it off the top of my head, but there was a lot of parts there.
You know what? It'd be awesome if they give you like a little program of what people had made.
That would be a good idea.
That would be a smart move in the future.
You're welcome. Cookies and cocktail.
But no, I was really excited to see what they were going to do because at first, Korean, it's not obvious to me what they would do.
Right.
It's just like, how do you mix Korean food and, Girl Scout cookies.
Right.
But they were super excited to do it. And so I was really pumped to see what they would do. And it was really tasty. They also did a waffle. So they had
the waffle that had the lemon on top, right?
Yeah, it had like a little, I think it was like a dollop of like cream or something like that. But it was whipped cream, and it was, so they did a sweet and a savory, and both were really good. I mean, I was really impressed. They
were good.
They definitely brought their A game.
I'm so sad right now.
Yeah,
about going the wrong way.
But you did try some good things.
I did try some good things.
I
like
like the Cafe Disco, their toffee-tastic macarons.
Yeah, those were really good.
Those were very good.
I also liked St. Mark's Chop Room's little lettuce bite.
Oh yeah, the little lettuce
boat.
The curry.
Yeah, it was purple sticky rice, curry chicken, which was topped with crispy sweet potatoes and then crumbled Samoas.
Oh, and you also kind of got the rundown on who was it? Was it Coyotes? The marshmallow?
The marshmallow.
Yeah.
That was, a lot of people were like, oh, I'm not a huge fan of the marshmallow, but I was like, the marshmallow, like, once I had it and I was like, oh, this is a marshmallow, and I can get a little bit of that Girl Scoutiness in there. And
Girl
then when
Scoutiness.
I don't know how to say that.
Hashtag Girl Scoutiness.
Girl Scoutiness. And so I asked him, I was like, hey, so, because if people weren't too busy, I was like, tell me about what you made.
Yeah.
Right? Because I want to know what I'm eating. And so he went into this whole thing of how they pressed the blackberries and got the juice, and they incorporated the juice instead of the liquid for the marshmallows, and then the drizzle of the marshmallows. So like when he was explaining it, I was just like, and when you get that understanding, a lot, yeah.
And they smoked it.
Yeah, and they smoked it.
And you could really taste it. I mean, like, if there had been a creativity award, they would have won it. And I've been to a lot of events where they've been at, and I always look forward to trying what they make because they always come up with really creative stuff like that. And it's really impressive.
Yeah. And the consistency of marshmallow was really good. That was, other than the macaroons and big buns, those would be my top 3 sweets.
Yeah. Did you try the cookie dough to go? They did like the little cookie dough ball that was like
it was a thin mint
Yeah.
edible cookie dough.
Yes.
I did not try that.
Oh my gosh.
Shockingly, they were the only ones to use Thin Mints.
Right?
Really?
I really thought
that is
so
surprising.
many people
No,
would.
blew me away. Like I would have bet money that
Me
that would have been a really
too.
popular choice, and it was not.
I feel like most people ended up with Samoas.
Samoa's was the number one choice by a wide margin.
Yeah.
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 And then what would you say second? Either the peanut butter,
Yeah,
what is
tagalongs. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was up there for sure.
and then I feel like a lot of people also use the toffee.
They did, surprisingly. So that was sort of a out of left field for me because I that was the first time before I got involved with this. I had no idea that was even a thing.
A Girl Scout cookie.
I was like, what is this toffee cookie? Like I never tried it, and a couple of the restaurants picked that one specifically because it's gluten free.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So Cafe Disco picked that because it's gluten free.
That's very cool.
And Tasting Room did as well, and so that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
And then our friends from Rome Coffee Company, they did a coffee cocktail
They did.
that I thought was pretty tasty.
Yeah, and I love the fact that they were roasting the marshmallows right there.
Yeah, with the little torch thing.
Yeah.
AndOm didn't set anybody on fire.
No.
So,
Yeah.
successful evening all around.
It was, we were all a little
success.
worried for a second, Dom.
All right,
just
so Logan, if you have it in your memory of who was the winners, like what awards went to these different restaurants?
So we had 4 awards. 3 of them were chosen by our judges. So we had a panel of 5 culinary judges, all local. And
Who were they?
so the judges were Dave Cathy from the Oklahoman, the food dude, Russ Johnson from Ludovine and R&J's Supper Club. David Rackley from 84 Hospitality. I think he's their director of operations. Shelby Sieg from the Pritchard.
Yeah.
And Loretta Barrett Oden, who is an Emmy Award-winning Native American chef.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's
Nice.
a great panel.
Yeah.
It was. And talking to some of them afterwards, Dave Cathy especially, he was really impressed by what everybody brought out because he goes to a lot of these events. And to a certain extent, once you've been to enough of them, they start to be sort of repetitive.
Right.
A lot of there's maybe a dozen or so restaurants that are sort of the regulars at these sorts of events. They always get invited, and they bring much the same thing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it gets a little stale to someone that's at all of those events.
Right, attending everything.
And one of the things that I was particularly proud of is that a lot of the restaurants that I got involved, most of them, well, not most of them, but a lot of them were places that either don't have a storefront or are less than a year old. I mean, you have Rome Coffee Company and Big Buns Bakery, both very new. La Confection from the South Side. She's been open for a little over a year. So just a lot of unfamiliar faces to people that go to a lot of those events. And so it's just kind of cool to give them a little bit of exposure and vice versa, to give people that are attending those events, the opportunity to try new places that they haven't been.
Right. Yeah. And those new places are always so enthusiastic. Oh, yeah. And they are innovative and creative and trying to come up with something that, people might not see or what represents them. So I think it was amazing. So job well done in recruiting. Even though it was a little more work than you thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
It ended up being worth it.
All right, so the awards, the judges got to pick what?
Right, so the judges picked the first 3 awards. So that would be Best Sweet, Best Savory, and Best Drink. So the Best Sweet went to Gaiudi's and their marshmallow concoction.
Okay.
Best Savory went to Scotty's Deli and their duck pastrami.
Yep.
And Best Drink also went to Scotty's Deli with their, was it Smoke on the Water?
Smoke on the Water.
Well, it was like something about tomato.
Smoke on the Tomato.
Yeah.
I think it was called Smoke on the Water, and then they skewered it with a pork belly.
That pork belly is so good. They had extra pork belly at the end of the night, and they were just like handing it out.
Nice.
And Logan was like, I was right there.
I was there.
I will say that drink, as soon as you approached Scotty's, everything there was just you could smell the smoke.
Oh yeah, it was delicious.
So they won those 2. So then there was the People's Choice. So we covered the first 3 that were all judge choices, and then the People's Choice, they voted throughout the night, and that went to Hacienda Tacos and their tostada, which
that was amazing.
That was worth it.
Yeah, I could have had a few more of those.
Oh, I didn't vote. I left in a hurry. Did you vote?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Way to do your duty.
Thank you.
I was trying to get every last moment to explore the tables, and then I looked at the time. I was like, all right, I'm out of here.
Yeah. I kept being like, a couple more minutes.
Yeah, Ashley kept being like, no, let's try another one.
Yeah. So it was a great event. I cannot wait until next year.
Yeah.
Thank you, Logan, for your contribution to that great event.
It's a great time, and if you go by Scotty's, I know they have their trophies on display. So
it really was so good, and I think well deserved. I think they just recently turned 2 years old.
It did, and what a way to
celebrate their anniversary.
Maybe that's why you wanted them.
Yeah.
I think he was actually one of the only return participants from the previous year, and so he was just he was really adamant about it. He'd figured some things out.
He figured some things out. He's been thinking about this all year.
He came to win.
Yeah, and he did.
Job well done.
Yep.
For sure. So changing gears just a little bit, since we do have the pleasure of having Logan on, and Logan is, what would you say, just more than a foodie. He gets to try so many great places.
Yeah.
And so, we are constantly adding new places to our list of places we got to visit. So,
and that list is ever growing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Gosh. I can't get
Stop telling us where to eat, people.
except we're going to ask for some more recommendations. What are some places that you've tried recently that you would recommend?
So recently, Gun Izakaya stands out.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was really impressed with Gun Izakaya. I need to go back because there are a couple things that weren't available that I really wanted.
Oh, what was it? I just recently went.
It was their okonomiyaki. Their I don't know how you really describe it. They're a Japanese pancake with stuff in it.
Okay, no, I didn't.
Stuff
I mean,
in it?
it literally translates to a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
it's just,
I did not try that.
It's the kitchen sink of pancakes.
It's
Right.
kind of like a pancake, kind of like a crepe, and it's got stuff in it, like meat and veggies and stuff.
It's like a savory pancake.
Yeah, and then you can top it with other things. It's just
Yum.
it's very tasty. There really isn't any other place in Oklahoma where you can get one. There was briefly a food truck in Stillwater several years ago, but they were way ahead of the game.
Yeah.
and so it just, the support wasn't there for
No.
it.
That's
Oh
sad.
shoot,
Yeah.
that is always really sad.
So yeah, the food and especially the cocktails.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried so many things that night, and it was all really top notch, and the decor is great.
Yeah.
And it really should be because they went to Tokyo to do research for that trip.
Wow.
For that restaurant.
Wow.
So
Isn't the restaurant group the same as Goro?
yep, 84 Hospitality.
84, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was their, I guess, their first foray into the Paseo,
Nice.
and it's really great. I was really impressed.
Yeah, I like that too. Anywhere else?
Masa. So Masa Ramen and Sushi, which is on Memorial and Western. So it's just north of the Chinese restaurant Szechuan Bistro.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually, there's common ownership there. I don't know if it's 100% common ownership, but the owners of the Chinese place also own the sushi place. And that place is pretty impressive. So it's built into a strip mall. It's a really, really nice place, and the cocktails really top shelf, and all the plates, the drinkware. I mean, there's really no lack of attention to detail.
Right.
I mean, it's not,
I like that.
and you wouldn't expect it just from driving by, because a lot of people have this kind of snobby thing. Well, no, I mean, when people look at a strip mall, they're just like, oh, there's nothing good in a strip mall.
Yeah.
In my experience, that is the exact opposite of the truth. I
Right.
mean,
That's what we've been hearing too from different people.
Yeah.
What was the sushi place that Jonathan Stranger mentioned? Was it
Subaki?
Subaki, another
the
unassuming.
gas station.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
So don't
I've fallen
judge a
victim
book by its cover.
Exactly. I've fallen victim to that as well, and then you kind of go and you're like, I was wrong. I was so wrong, right?
Yeah.
And you should just give the place a try.
Because a lot of those places are like mom and pop shops, and
Yeah.
it's low overhead, and that's
And
just
it's honestly smart.
Yeah,
no, it is.
And they're trying to get you the best food that they can, and they might not know about all the other things, right? They're like, hey, I know food real well,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm going to give people. And and those little things make so much difference. One of my coworkers went to Cafe Cuvée, and they had a Hamilton drink. This was right before he went to go watch Hamilton. And he was like, just the glassware that they served it in just felt so federalist and colonial. Like it added to the drink that he was having, and
Yeah.
and like the theme that he was going for. So it makes a
That's
huge
cool.
difference.
no, it
Yeah.
does, and I was just really impressed through and through with that place. So
Nice. So I haven't tried that spot. So Masa,
Masa, yep.
cool.
That's
I can't
fairly
wait.
new, right?
It is. I want to say they've been open fully for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. They soft opened for a couple weeks before that, which I think is really smart.
Yeah.
But it was all really, really great. They have a sushi pizza appetizer.
Ooh.
Highly recommend.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting. So we've had a sushi burrito, but we have not had a
Yes.
sushi pizza.
We might have to have a sushi
they
pizza.
use a crispy rice for the crust, and
Oh,
they
I like
nail it.
that.
I was wondering how they were going to put that together. Okay.
Yeah.
So definitely give that a try.
All right, cool. Well,
Done.
thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you for being a guest again.
Our second repeat guest.
Yes. And, we'll come across something else to have you on again for a third time.
Yeah. Unless Gabe beats you to it.
Dang.
But no, thank you so much, Logan. And you can follow Logan's food adventures, which don't visit his page if you're hungry.
Or
honestly.
dieting.
Or dieting.
Or dieting, for sure. So it's Edible Excellence on Instagram and Facebook.
Yep.
And you can follow our food adventures on Instagram and Facebook, OKC Foodcast. And if you'd like to email us some listener feedback, or if you'd like to collaborate, we'd love to hear from you. And you can email us at okcfoodcast@gmail.com.
Or if you've got suggestions for us of places to try.
Yeah, we
We'd
love
those.
suggestions.
Let's keep adding to the list.
For sure. For sure.
And in the meanwhile, remember to share this podcast with a fellow food lover and leave us a rating, write us a review. Those help a lot more than you might imagine. I know you hear me say that every week, but it helps.
For real, you guys.
Only 5 stars.
Only 5 stars. Thank you. And we really appreciate it.
Yeah. So thanks again, Logan. And until next time, friends, eat well and be happy.
What is your bye?